Can they do it next year?
That's what we do.
You do it well. But you know, the truth is, Kawhi Leonard he is more than a sports hero in this city. He's, first of all, an example, as all of his teammates have said. I don't know why he'd turn up these incredible Kawhi and Dine offers that every restaurant in Toronto is putting out there for him. I understand he's been given a house. If it's true, I have no idea.
A penthouse apartment, reportedly.
Oh, is that it?
And I love Pascal Siakam yesterday saying, "Where's my house?"
Oh, see,
I think Kawhi can afford his.
I thought Pascal said, "That's my house."
Oh, he said, "Where's my house?" No, it's hilarious. Those stickers are everywhere, by the way. I think Kawhi will be able to afford whatever he
Pascal said, "That's my house." It's a really cool cucumber, though. I mean, he does it, as you said, he's got the best poker face in sport. You never know what's happening inside.
Pascal Siakam is a little more outgoing than Kawhi. He's standing by with our cabbie.
Pascal Siakam, you look out here, and there are literally 75 million people here. How do you process this moment, my G?
Hey, this is crazy, man. I can't believe
I heard you say this is crazy like 7 times.
I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. It's crazy. It's amazing.
2 years ago, you were the MVP of the G League. 2 years later, you're an NBA champion, and you and Kawhi Leonard are now the second highest scoring duo. Soak it in, my friend, soak it in. You guys are now the second highest scoring duo in the NBA playoffs, tying Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. When you hear that, you think what?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed. That's the only thing I can say. We all blessed, man. It's an amazing moment. I don't know what else to say, man. It's amazing.
When are we going to get some Spicy P hot sauce into production for real, my dude?
Hey,
we need a championship flavor.
Yeah!
Listen, another thing, Pascal. We're literally, the city has never been on this kind of wave before. So how long should these fans celebrate your guys' championship? A few days? A few weeks?
Forever. Let's get lit forever. But we're trying to do it one more time, though. We got to do it again.
Of course
that's what about victory. You see it, and you got to do it again.
Like your boy Drake sang a few years ago, we got to go back. They want it back to back.
We need it. We need it. We want to go back.
Listen, a few days ago, Drake dropped 2 tracks, Omerta and Money in the Bank, but it was late Friday night, early Saturday.
Money in the Bank is a
banger.
Yes, a banger.
When did you guys get to hear it?
I heard it like everyone else, but bangers. Drake right there, bangers. Money in the Bank, Money in the Grave is lit.
2 more questions for you. What have the last 72 hours been like for you?
Can't say anything. It's been crazy.
You can't say it on TV?
I don't know anything. I'm just here, man. It's amazing. Having fun. Best fans in the world. They deserve it. And we're just happy.
Lastly, have you gotten any DMs or text messages when they show up on your phone like, wow, that's pretty cool that I got that from this person?
Yes. Kevin Durant, Samuel Eto'o from Cameroon,
Nice.
Alexander Song from Cameroon. Like, a lot of people DM me, man. Like, it's just an amazing feeling, to be honest with you.
Well, the whole country's really proud of you guys. Live in this moment, my friend. And next October, you guys will do it again, or
yes,
look to do it again.
Let's get it.
I'm happy for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right.
Please, Spicy P. You know, that guy is just as oozing with personality. I was stunned, though, to hear that he was surprised at the outpouring and the reaction in Cameroon. As if he didn't realize he was just such a star in his home nation.
Oh, and a legend now. And again, that's the thing about the NBA. It's a global game. You could argue the NFL is a bigger sport financially, but the NBA resonates across the globe like nothing else as far as professional sports in North America. Pascal Siakam only began playing basketball at 17 years old. The Masai saw him at a 2012 camp in Africa. Wasn't sure he could ever be an NBA player. But
wasn't he also studying to be a priest?
Yeah, early on early on in his life, that's his family wanted him to represent the Catholicism in the family, and somewhere along the way he said, no, I'd like to do something else, and it ended up being basketball.
Well, he's definitely got the halo, though.
He has been terrific, up for the MVP, the Most Improved Player Award, of course, in the NBA this year. D'Angelo Russell of the Nets, probably his main competition. That will be awarded next week at the NBA Awards. But what a year for Pascal Siakam, and he scores the last basket.
Amazing.
Last basket of that final game. There were a few free throws after, but that was just critical. It was just a force.
And you also hearing him talk about the fact that over the last few weeks he's felt the best in his absolute life and the worst in his life, and that is the roller coaster of this team sport when everyone's relying on you. But as you say, he owned the moment on Thursday.
Pascal Siakam and the Toronto Raptors making their way towards Nathan Phillips Square. Let's check in with Tyrone Edwards.
All right, so here we are from the parade. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a traffic report. I've never done traffic in my life, but the Gardner going eastbound is completely occupied by the best fans in the entire world. We are the championship fans. Look at this. This is the off-ramp to get to Skyline going east on the Gardner. Look at the highway. Look at the highway. I just want to remind you, we have just started this parade. We still have an entire day ahead of us.
There you can see they are making their way slowly here. It looks like they're not moving. We are told from very, very good sources on the street that they are moving slowly but surely toward. But, you know, every time we hear an interview with these players, it really is the first time in some cases. Steady Freddie, of course, I think we've got an interview with him coming up very shortly, James.
Yeah, Freddie Van Vliet, and I think that the cut under the eye after he took that horrible fall in the finals makes him even more beloved. You look like a warrior. When he came out we sat with him about a half an hour after the game. He came back on the floor with us, and by the way, I had never seen a piece of clothing smell like more alcohol than Freddie Van Vliet's jersey.
After all that
Yeah, it was 3 times the legal limit because he was just getting sprayed with champagne. But just so often, I think you expect joy from these guys, but it's relief because everybody watching at home, how stressed were you watching that?
I'm telling you, I've been in some stressful situations in my life, but I don't think I'm built for watching this kind of sport. It's just so stressful. You know, 9.9 seconds. This is just craziness.
Basketball is one of the great drama builders, I think, in sports. And when you get to a situation like the finals, you're living and dying on every single possession. And poor Danny Green, when he turned that ball over late with 10 seconds left in the game, and you thought, oh, here we go. Steph's going to hit a buzzer beater, and it's going back to Toronto for Game 7. But just like the Raptors did this entire playoffs, when you thought something bad might happen, it didn't. They reversed the entire history of this franchise where everything went wrong.
And just remind people about that incredible moment that really became global. I was watching it on the BBC, the shot, Kawhi Leonard shot that landed, like, bounced four times before it sent.
That will be the image that lasts forever, even though it wasn't the final. That will be the play. I was at a golf tournament, hosting a golf tournament on the weekend, and there was an artist there painting a portrait of that moment off his phone. And those are the kind of things on posters, I think, that will hang everywhere. Marc Gasol, such a big part of this championship, acquired just a couple of months before the end of the season from Memphis. He's with Marcy.
I literally had to stand on a seat just so that I could see you eye to eye. Congratulate you, Mark. Amazing.
Thank you so much. It's great, you know, see the people's faces, their reaction, their joy is awesome. You know, you cannot even imagine all these things. It's just great to be here.
Talk about this team never giving up, coming together even when the stakes were down at times, and saying to a man, we can do this.
We just believed in ourselves and one another, and you know, we helped each other, we trusted in one another, and you know, ended up on top.
You've made history, and I know you've talked about this before. You and your brother Pau, the first brothers in NBA history to both have championships. Tell me about that and how it feels, and have you talked to Pau?
Yeah, I've talked to him, but to me right now it's more important about, my teammates and my coaches and Toronto and the whole country. Like, it's not about me and my brother. It's more about, my other brothers and my family in Toronto and, the whole country. So I'm just enjoying it, trying to soak it all in, and having a great time.
I am so glad you said that. So good to put it that way. We talked to Masai a little bit earlier, and I said, you've got a man from Spain, you've got a kid from Cameroon, you've got another one from North Philly, you've got people from all over the globe. Really, this is basketball at its finest, representing the world.
Yes, and that's what basketball is about. It's about, bringing people together for the same cause. Obviously, when you win, it's a lot easier to put it all together. But, we've seen it tonight, today, for the past, 72 hours, how much joy you see in people's faces and how many people you got to thank for being here and supporting you. So it's been awesome. It's been a great ride. I think, you could not imagine a better ending to it, but it's great.
You were part of a trade, Jonas Valanciunas. You'd been in Memphis for so many years and not tasted this kind of victory. Was it 10 years, Mark?
10.5 years in Memphis, and now we're here. It's hard to be traded. I understand, the pressure to it. It was sad to me to see Jonas leave, but thankfully, the gamble paid out.
It sure did. Listen, congratulations. Canada loves the team, loves you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mark and his brother Pau, the first set of brothers to each win an NBA title. Pau did it with the Lakers back in 2008, 2012-13 Defensive Player of the Year with the Memphis Grizzlies. And what a defensive presence he was in the playoffs, helping the Raptors win their title.
And I loved when after the victory, he finally gets back to his hotel room, and his brother's back in Spain, so he FaceTimes him, and he's up having morning coffee, very excited for his brother, obviously. But really, family, I think, is a thread that really does permeate this team. And we are just one giant family today with the thousands of people. I want to just say, if your kids or any of your friends or family are out here along the parade route and you're watching this at home, send them a text message to stop trying to make their way to Nathan Phillips Square. The police have just asked that the square is at capacity, perhaps over capacity, and they're asking people to go to Coronation Park, which is east of Exhibition Place. Massive jumbo screens. You might even see better from Coronation Park. So again, that is east of Exhibition Place. If you can get a message out to any of your friends or loved ones.
Well, we can back that up 100% from our vantage point here in Nathan Phillips Square. It is completely shoulder to shoulder. If you're in the middle of the crowd, it's almost impossible to get out. It looks safe right now. There's enough room for everybody. There's still smiles everywhere, but there's not another body or two that can fit in here right now.
It's so beautifully Canadian. It's very peaceful crowds. Everyone's just happy to be patient and waiting. They're being entertained out here in Nathan Phillips Square as they wait. We wish we could give you some timing perspective, but it's kind of tough to know how far along the parade route the open-top buses and the cars actually are.
I hope that ambulance isn't trying to get anywhere right now, because that's an impossibility for that crowd. You heard from Marc Gasol there, and the one thing about this Raptors team, Kawhi is the man and was the man and deserved MVP. But the way they won this finals, there was almost taking turns at heroics on different nights. One night it would be Gasol, and one night, several nights, it was Serge Ibaka. And then in the fourth quarter of the deciding game, when Kawhi didn't score a bucket, only those free throws at the end, it was Fred VanVleet who had the quarter of his life to propel the Raptors to a championship. He's with Akil Augustine.
VanVleet Sr.
Yes, sir.
First and foremost, what have been the last few days like for you?
Just
Call him champion. Mr. Champion VanVleet Sr.
Yes, sir.
What have the last few days been like for you?
It's been a blur, man. Just trying to enjoy it. It's been a heck of a ride just to get to this point, and now it's time for us to enjoy all the work that we put in.
Your impressions of this championship parade and the response you've gotten from the city of Toronto.
Look at these people, man. The ground is shaking. It's unbelievable. It's hard to put into words. You just got to look around and try to enjoy it as best you can with the fans and with the city of Toronto.
What's been the best part of this entire experience?
This part, it's been to celebrate. You know, you work so hard, we're so focused. We don't get outside of ourselves, but to finally get the job done and be able to go out here and celebrate now is a big deal for us.
How's your teeth?
Teeth are good. Teeth are good. A little bit, you know what I'm saying? I'm all right. I'm feeling good right now.
Okay. One question for you, because you know you're enjoying this. Your impression of the response from the people of Toronto.
This is why we wanted to win a championship. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And we ain't even close to being done.
Hey, on behalf of everyone in Toronto who's watched you guys over the years, I just want to say thank you.
All right, bro. Get out of here now.
Lisa, you were talking about family, and family changed everything for Fred during this playoffs. He was struggling. He was almost unplayable early on in the playoffs, and then Fred Jr. is born. He goes through a sleepless night, rushes back, and is a massive part of the Raptors beating the Bucks in that series. And basically the rest of the way, he was one of the catalysts for the Raptors.
And now, of course, he's referred to almost exclusively as Fred Sr., which I think is a huge pride moment for him. But one of my favorite quotes from him just yesterday, he said, when he was asked about how it all failed, I was rolling in the good zone. And I think they are still rolling in the good zone today.
The only player not named Kawhi to receive a vote for Finals MVP. He got one vote. Kawhi got the other 10.
I mean, you can't even describe this. It looks like something, like, I don't know how do you know this is. There's nothing to warn them about.
We're just still seeing some flashes of things that are happening out on the parade route. You know, the steel drum band, awesome. You're seeing a lot of the Raptors dance moves, which you, James, I understand, have also perfected over these championship games.
Lisa, that was supposed to be between you and I. That
Sorry,
was
James.
OTR, off the record. Let's check in with Josh Lewenberg, who's with several of the reporters who have covered the Raptors on this run and for years before.
All right, thank you very much, James, David Feschuk, Bruce Arthur, Steve Simmons. Guys, let's talk about the architect, the guy that built this team, that made this all possible, Masai Ujiri. Bruce, you wrote about him the other day. He took some heat over the summer for some of the moves that he made. He put his reputation on the line, sacrificed some personal relationships, but he always said, we're going to win in Toronto, and guess what? He delivered.
One thing about this run is there were so many places where it could have gone in a different direction. Beyond even not trading for Kawhi Leonard, there were other deals on the table that they could have made for DeMar DeRozan that were turned down by other teams, including one of the Clippers' 4 draft picks. That was something that could have happened that could have changed the direction of this team. But going back before that, before he re-signed Kyle Lowry and Serge Ibaka in 2017, Masai Ujiri thought about rebuilding. He thought about rebuilding before 2016. He thought about firing Dwayne Casey after 2015. Masai Ujiri, along the lines, there's so many decisions that have to be made. And he didn't make always the right ones, but he made enough right ones over and over, not just on the court, but in terms of building the organization. And now he's a champion along with the rest of them.
But one thing that Masai does, and Bobby Webster in concert with him, they look at every possibility. They look at every possibility a second time. What happened right after they won the championship? Bobby Webster met with Nick Nurse about next year. They got right back at it. This is a group that goes over and over and over possibilities. And you look at it, no one in the history of the NBA has ever traded for a player on a one-year gamble, fired the coach of the year, and won a championship. It's an unbelievable story.
It really is, and I think the reason those guys are so restless and why they're always questioning is because, guys, we work in multiple sports with GMs, and you get the sense that a lot of them, they GM not to lose their job. Yeah. These guys are running the organization, and you know it, to desperately win. They just want to win a championship. They're not worried about losing the job. And I think it takes boldness, it takes security, because Masai Ujiri, I think, is of the belief he could probably get another job if he lost this one. But that kind of assuredness is what separates this management group, and I think that's why we're sitting here right now.
It's been a strange year for Masai, almost uncomfortable at times, because as we know, he's a showman. Few command a room and deliver a speech. Masai, but he's been uncharacteristically quiet this year, almost in the shadows, letting his team do the talking.
Well, I think from the beginning of the year, he made that passionate speech about Toronto and how it's no longer a place that people leave, it's now a destination. And he made that speech, and he sounded like he was running for mayor at the time. And then, yeah, after that, he disappeared. I think he let Nick Nurse become who he was going to be. He let Kawhi become who he was going to be as the main player on the team, really for the first time in his career. And we saw the offshoots of all of those things.
One of the things that Masai said at the beginning, he said, we're just going to be us. And that's not just Masai being someone that you believe in if you're Kawhi Leonard. It's about the organization, the medical staff, the front office, the coaching staff, the roster you've built, everything about the traveling party, everything about what has been built with the Toronto Raptors in anticipation of a superstar. For years, Masai Ujiri has been waiting to see if a superstar would come loose. And the names, like any name you can think of, Kevin Durant, DeMarcus Cousins, Jimmy Butler, he went over and over the league waiting for that chance. And you have to accumulate assets, and he did, in order to make the right deal at the right time.
I did a small sample size yesterday. I went back over
there's people up here.
20 champions
Get on the earth.
19 teams.
Whoa, there's people here?
Mega superstar kind of player. The only one that didn't were the Detroit Pistons with Chauncey Billups and those guys.
I ran over this guy.
Or a Shaq or a LeBron. Well, the Raptors had one or have one, depending on what's going to happen with Kawhi Leonard and the championship with him.
Right, and I think that's the other thing I think that separates Masai Ujiri is he understands you don't need to build it the conventional way. He had, but I think he had kind of non-negotiables about the types of players he wanted on this team.
Exactly.
You had to have mental toughness, number one. And you look at this team, every guy in this team, there's a reason why they're not high lottery picks, and no lottery picks, in fact. It's because they've all had to overcome something, and I think that speaks to your point, Steve. How do you build it without the mega star? You build it with guys who don't quit, guys who don't give up. And guess what? The guys who do, you're going to kind of lose a blank stare under the spotlight. Those guys got moved out of town in favor of guys who could perform when it mattered.
Yeah, there's another little small footnote to all this. When he traded for Marc Gasol at the deadline, Masai Ujiri wasn't sure he wanted to do that. Because when he traded for Serge Ibaka and PJ Tucker in 2017, that was something that was going all in at the time for the Raptors, and it turned out terribly.
But they also wanted to get Mirotic.
Well, yeah, so
when he wasn't available, that's when
it wasn't even that they wanted to. Masai Ujiri went to bed thinking that he had Nikola Mirotic in his back pocket. He thought the deal was done. Woke up, it didn't happen. He called Memphis back after Mirotic went to Milwaukee. They had talked about Marc Gasol for 2 or 3 weeks. They just got to the finish line of the deal. And the one thing about Marc Gasol is what Dave talked about: a mentally tough player, an unselfish player, a good guy in the room, a guy who you could fit into a championship aspirational team, and he could actually fit.
And the other non-negotiable, basketball IQ.
Yeah.
The only reason this team could pick it up on the fly, be reconstructed at the trade deadline with a new starting center, and still win a championship, it's because every guy in that rotation, or maybe all but a couple, have incredible IQ to be able to figure it out on the fly, and that showed every night.
This was a good team in February. When Gasol came in and gave them all the possibilities and the intelligence and the calmness to everything else that was going on, they became a great team.
So Masai said he'll win in Toronto. The other day he told us they'll win again in Toronto. He guaranteed it. Over to you.
You know, it's just fascinating, again, to listen to sort of some of the layers of what has led us here today, from the team perspective and now from the public perspective. You see the results, these thousands and thousands, estimates up to 2 million people converging on the city of Toronto. A few warnings to pass along. Certain subways have now been closed. It's really over capacity.
It's a logistical nightmare, and a shout out to all the police officers doing their best along the way. People have jumped barricades. Everybody wants a piece of this team. They all want to see them go by, and I think that's why you can see they're able to maintain part of that road is clear, but not all of it is clear, and I think they're having issues with that all the way along the way. Is that
that's an excellent shot right there. You can see the problem.
Not all of it is clear, and I think they're
Spotty right now.
Right.
That's an excellent shot right there. You can see
Ready to continue. It's a steady challenge by Jean-Roux. Conadera. If you just joined us, this is the Group B match from Le Havre. China in red against Spain. If you just joined us, this is the group.
Pulse. Kvin forward. Magou. Dabritz joining a whole host of players on 2 goals so far at the Women's World Cup. Wendy Renard, Jennifer Hermoso, Barbara Bonacea, Samantha Mewis, Rose Lavelle, Aurora Galli, Viviane Medimeda, Miedema, Sarah Dabritz. Good control. Important for Glamini to have some good touches now after that awful mistake, which I'm afraid she will remember for a long time on this big stage. It's a foul. A free kick to South Africa.